The following is a paid program, and the views expressed on this show do not represent the views of WJZ-FM, Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
The following is a pre-recorded show. Welcome to Winning in Retirement with your host, Brian Akers, certified financial planner professional and founder of Akers Financial Group. Now, helping you win in your retirement, here's Brian Akers.
Hello, I'm Brian Akers. Welcome to Winning in Retirement by Akers Financial Group. With me today is my cousin, the Vice President of Akers Financial Group, Certified Financial Planner Practitioner, Jeff Akers. How are you doing today, Jeff?
I'm doing great, Brian. You know, this week I've kind of marveled at kind of the amazing times that we're living in. On a Wednesday night, I got home and the family says, the shower's broken. So I go check it out, and sure enough, it was broken. It was a 25-year-old handheld shower that Lynn and I had received as a wedding gift, so I couldn't really complain about it, but it just wouldn't stay together. So I got on my phone, went to Amazon, and ordered a new handheld shower head. It was delivered the next day, on Thursday, and I hooked it up. And so I was thinking, you know, right now we're facing some really serious challenges, you know, way more serious than a broken shower head. And we can spend our time dwelling on those challenges and problems, or we can look for solutions and opportunities. So I think today we're going to talk a little bit about some opportunities that might be out there.
Well, I just asked you how you were doing. That was it, Jeff. You went into your counseling and basically talking about your, I guess that was a shower head you're talking about. You know, it takes like less than 25 seconds to install, right? You know that.
Oh, the installation was very simple. It was the waiting a day for it to come in the mail.
But life without a handheld shower head is awful. So you got to have one. I understand the pain that your family experienced this week. Hopefully that gets better. Akers Financial Group, we're built on financial planning, financial services, and some of us are not built on installing shower heads. But Jeff is now experienced in doing that. It's good to do that every 25 years. All right, so at Akers Financial Group, we want to do a show today called Opportunities to Apply Right Now. Jeff actually has a master's degree in counseling, and so you can tell by that how you're doing that he was really prepared to answer today. So he's also very prepared to talk about this topic of opportunities that we need to apply right now to our financial lives. There's a lot going on. The amazing thing on this Saturday morning is a Saturday morning where in Maryland, in certain counties and parts of Maryland, we're beginning to reopen certain facets of our lives. And that's going to be some more energy, some of this more positive energy to happen here in Maryland. We're very thankful for that. We wish everyone to stay safe as we enter into this next step. I don't quite feel like Neil Armstrong stepping onto the moon, but it's a little bit like that. All right, so Jeff, let's talk about stock market and basically a little bit about the volatility of the stock market first.
Well, the stock market, ever since the news about the virus really broke, has been very volatile, especially when we got into March. It went down quite a bit, and then we got to April, and it came back up, and then this week we've been kind of volatile with ups and downs. Yesterday was kind of, Thursday was kind of wild the way it went way down, and then it came and actually finished the day up. So volatility is going to be with us for a while in the stock market. So when you think about risk and investing in stocks, just think about how big are those swings from top to bottom. And then we have to look at what are some opportunities that might present to us. And one of those is called dollar cost averaging. And I was talking to a client this week, and they had a particular mutual fund, and they had it in two different accounts. In one account, they had bought it a while ago, and they were just holding it. And in the other account, they were putting money into it every month. And when we looked at the way the performance report showed up for this year, the one where they were putting money into it every month looked a whole lot better. It was a lot better because they had invested when the market was down in March and even still down in April. And so by dollar cost averaging, they reduced their overall cost of ownership. And then as the market recovers, those will end up being some of the best shares of that mutual fund. The mutual fund was the same in both accounts, but those will be some of the best shares that they bought because of buying while it's low.
Yeah, the idea of dollar cost averaging works very well in a volatile market. The best way to dollar cost average for most people is while you have your job, and those that are blessed with a job right now, and you're able to put money into your 401k, TSP, 403b, 457, whatever the plans are called. If you do that consistently, that's a hard word for me. What happens is you buy every paycheck. You want that money flowing into the stock market, especially if you have a medium or to a long-term time horizon on your money. What do you believe is a medium or a long-term time horizon, Jeff?
Oh, I'd say medium, maybe 5 years, long-term, around 10 years for a time horizon. When I look back at 2007 through 2009, that downturn, that was a serious, everybody still remembers the Great Recession. And it took about 7 years for the Dow Jones to get back to where it was coming out of that. So 10 years, I'd say, is long-term. Around 5 years is what I'd use as a medium-term range.
Yeah, I usually go with three years on medium term. So what I mean by time horizon is if you are investing money in stock market, you should expect not to get it back for at least 3 years. If you're putting that money in where you're going to day trade it and get it back in the fall because you're going to make so much money, the possibility of gaining and the possibility of losing, I believe, are about the same amount of risk when it comes to the shorter time horizons you have. Now, day traders would argue against that because they are trying to buy, and then as it goes up a few points, they sell out, and they possibly can make money in those ways. But volatility happens very fast. You'll find in market history that stock market goes down quickly, recovers slowly. The V action looks like a V the longer out you go in your charting of markets. But in a market like this, you're going to see some bouncing. Some people call it a series of W's. It could look like a big U where it goes down and holds and comes up. Right now, we're sitting on the Dow around 20% down on the year as of here on May 16th. And the S&P's down and Nasdaq's down even less because of the technology that has done well in this market. So what we're trying to get at today is what are the opportunities in this volatility? The number one the opportunity is that you need to look at ways to dollar cost average into the market through your work. Your employer plan is one of the best ways to do it. What is another way they can dollar cost average, Jeff?
Well, like this client I was talking about, they just have an automatic contribution set up. It comes out of their checking account, and in this case, it's a joint account that the money's going into. You could do that with a Roth IRA if you wanted to, and that's a great way to save long term because you're going to have tax-free income when you get into retirement through a Roth IRA. You can also, anytime that you're sending money regularly without having to think about it, just regularly into a stock or a mutual fund or something like that, that's a form of dollar cost averaging. Some folks might own an individual stock, and they get a notice from the company that says, hey, do you want $1 or do you want to reinvest your dividends into this mutual fund? And you can do that. And that's sort of a form of dollar cost averaging because you're buying new shares whenever that fund or that stock pays a dividend. So those are just a few ways to dollar cost average into things. Just think of it as automatic. The money goes in. I don't think about it. You could almost think of getting a bill every month if that helps. And then you pay that bill when it comes due.
So the opportunities right now in the stock market is, I believe, for medium to long-term investors, there's some times to buy. And the thing is that you don't know when to buy. There won't be a special day that's the only day to buy. It's going to be having a plan as you go into this. To be able to win in retirement, you need your money to grow and to be there for you. We also believe in having stocks in retirement, so we are greatly against the market timing of getting all the way out of the market and then trying to get back in when you think it's right. Many times you got to make two perfect decisions. Extremely hard to do. We recommend that long-term money stays long-term. If you want to rework portfolios, improve the quality of your portfolio during this kind of time. So the opportunity on the stock market is to examine where you are. What can you do better? One of the ideas is you look at your retirement account And you say, well, my contributions, are they going to the market or are they all going to the money market? You might want to put some or all of your ongoing contributions into the stock market.
Yes, the volatility actually works to our advantage when we're buying into a volatile market like that, when we're dollar cost averaging. And the quality stocks is important because when there's a sell-off, a downturn like we had this year, the sell-off happens really fast and it's emotional. And in an emotional sell-off, the good stocks, quote unquote good stocks, high quality stocks, go down almost as much as the lower quality stocks. And so while it's down, that's a good opportunity to get into those quality stocks because those are the ones that are more likely to recover quickly and go even higher. So this is a good opportunity to be looking for those quality stocks to buy into.
Instead of looking at a statement that might have come in this week and reacting to it by going, oh, I need to sell, I got to get out. What you need to look at is this. Where are the stocks heading? Are things going to improve over time? What is your personal time horizon? If you need that money that's in stocks right now or in the future meaning the next month or two, yes, you should sell on up days and get some cash. You need to have your proper amount of cash in your planning. Financial planning leads with some basic fundamentals where you need to have your personal debt paid off, you need to have an emergency fund, and you need to cover your debt is got to be paid off. You got to cover your insurance needs. You got to have an emergency fund, and we're recommending at least 6 months of expenses that you need to have set aside, and that'll help you with swings in the market and any short-term need that you might have. Maybe you are in a reaction mode and you're defensive in every way. It's like you're sitting on the sofa and you keep moving back and back and back. You're reacting. Reacting has the energy of being defensive. Creating, now you sit up, you sit forward. You have the forward moving energy of creating. The people who will get through this in the best shape are the ones who take this opportunity and this time to be in the creating mode, in the solution mode. It's a choice. We want you to win in your retirement by taking this opportunity to begin planning with us at Acres Financial Group. To schedule your free meeting, call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call back on Monday to schedule an appointment with one of our team of advisors. Start planning for retirement now. Call 833-946-7384 or visit acresfinancial.com. A couple of months ago, Congress passed the CARES Act. Should you care? We'll explain that when we come back.
Imagine you're retired. You wake up in the morning and you don't even know what day it is. Every day seems like a Saturday. You can sleep in, cook a nice full breakfast without thinking about morning traffic or work deadlines. The Saturday calmness you used to crave is now your everyday feeling. You're not worried about your retirement income or how your investments are doing. Your biggest decision that day is where you're going to drink that first cup of coffee. Is that the kind of retirement you want? If it is, then sit down and talk with the team at Acres Financial Group. They want to help you get there. They've been helping families in Maryland plan for retirement for over 30 years. Call to schedule your complimentary meeting at 833-WIN-RETIRE. The number again is 833-WIN-RETIRE. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384. Member FINRA SIPC.
Acres Financial Group was founded on the principles of integrity, trust, and service. We believe each and every client is unique and deserves advice and implementations that apply directly towards their personal financial fingerprint. This financial fingerprint tells us the objective risk tolerance and purpose of the investment and insurance tools that we use to assist our clients in reaching their goals. By discovering the purpose of each financial decision, we can help you accomplish your goals. Intelligent financial design starts with a detailed balance sheet and cash flow to know where to start. This leads to a financial decision that will allow you to reach your goals with your risk tolerance in mind. Our relationships begin with an initial consultation and grows with each meeting. We would be thrilled to work with you and begin your planning process. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384. Or visit our website at acresfinancial.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
Hi, this is Jesse Cunningham, the owner of Mountain View Insurance. and we are proud to be affiliated with Acres Financial Group. We, too, base our business on integrity, service, and acknowledge that every client's insurance needs are unique to their own situation. At Mountain View Insurance, we specialize in car insurance, home insurance, and umbrella coverages, all designed to protect your assets that you've worked so hard to earn. When serving our clients, we focus on creating a protection plan that is appropriate to your needs. After we determine the correct plan, we then go to shop for you. Mountain View Insurance is an independent insurance brokerage, and that means we have access to many top national and regional insurance carriers. Let us build an appropriate and affordable insurance plan for you, and give us a call directly at 410-262-3176. Once again, that's 410-262-3176. This is Jesse Cunningham, owner of Mountain View Insurance, and I look forward to hearing from you.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers, and here with me today is Jeff Akers. We're certified financial planner practitioners at Akers Financial Group. You ready to go on the second quarter of our show, Jeff?
I'm ready to go. You know, Brian's my cousin. That's why we have the same last name. And he's been doing financial planning for about 30 years, and I've been working with him for about 20. So between the two of us, that gives us 50 years of experience doing this stuff, financial planning. On the bright side, it's exciting to say, hey, we've got 50 years of experience. On the downside, it kind of means that we're getting old. So that's just the way it goes, I guess. But Brian's older than me.
When you work with your family, what you try to do is have your offices on the opposite ends of the building, and you meet once in a while, and then you go to your separate corner, and then you continue moving forward. So that's worked out pretty well. When I was leaving the last break, my question was, a couple of months ago, actually, I think March 27th, I think Jeff was saying, a couple of months ago, Congress passed the CARES Act. Should you care? What do you think, Jeff?
Well, you should care because it affects pretty much everyone in the country. And it does present some opportunities for us that we can take a look at.
Alrighty, so the CARES Act started back in March as a response to the volatility of the market mid-March. So here came this huge law, and it changed some things. Some basic things it did was it moved the tax deadline to July 15th. My first advice is, if you have an accountant, don't wait till July 15th. The accountant is used to being on the beach somewhere by July 15th. They're used to being done April 15th. I've spoken to many accountants in the last 2 weeks that are just depressed that they got to work another 3 months. I had one that called me Monday and said, this Friday's May 15th. I am done. So I don't want any more tax returns after May 15th. So I gave an extra month. I don't want to do any more. So when you're doing your taxes, if you're doing them online, if you owe, that's probably why you're waiting. If you have a refund, go ahead and get that refund. But those that are waiting, be kind to your accountant. That would be our advice. Get the information in, let them work on it, and then they'll get back to you, and then you can always file and pay later. There's some great things to do electronically on your tax filing. This extension under the CARES Act also allows some great opportunities where if you have money, any extra money from stimulus or any other money that's come into you, that you can put away for a Roth IRA or an IRA contribution for the tax year 2019, you still can do that till July 15th. So it's not over. You still have a chance. You should really do that. What do you think of the contribution extension, Jeff?
I think it's been a really useful tool for a lot of folks. You could contribute, like Brian mentioned, to your Roth IRA, to your traditional IRA, to an HSA, to all these types of accounts that have contribution limits for a certain year. And now, through just over half of 2020, you can make a contribution to one of those that applies to 2019, to last year. So I think that's really a good opportunity, and we've used it with a lot of clients as we're talking about, have you made this contribution? No, I haven't maximized it yet. Well, we've got a few more months. Let's stretch that out and go ahead and get that maximum contribution in there. So that's been a really helpful kind of thing for them.
All right, this year has been full of acts. We started out January 1st, something called the Secure Act. So that was the first superhero to enter into this year. And that was from Congress and then voted into law, the Secure Act. And then here in March, we passed the CARES Act. Jeff, do you know what CARES Act means? Like, what is the acronym for CARES Act? Don't look it up. I see you looking up. I'm going to go ahead and say it. CARES Act is the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act. That was what CARES means. And then they're working on the next act. Have you heard what that might be called, Jeff?
The HEROES Act. That's what they're talking about now. And no, Absolutely. I don't know what that stands for. It's about healthcare workers and other $3 trillion of other choices to give money. But generally, when it comes to these acts, we got to see how they apply to our life. Currently, the CARES Act does apply to what's going on to many people. So far, we covered the tax extension, we covered the contribution extension that we had. If you're over 70 and a half, they have changed another big deal, and that big deal is required minimum distributions are waived for 2020. Now, yesterday was May 15th. If you have already taken your RMD for the year 2020, this is out of your retirement accounts. You're forced to do this when you get to a certain age, and you pay your tax on that money. If you already took it out this year prior to May 15th, you have the ability to pay back your RMD and not pay tax on it this year. They allow a 60-day rollover concept where you can roll money over once every 12 months. They're letting people do this with the RMD. We have done this for a few clients. I'm getting ready to do one right after the show today for someone. When it comes to the RMD, they waived it for the year, but what if you already took it out? If you took it out prior to May 15th, which was yesterday, you have the ability to pay it back, but there's a deadline, and that's July 15th. Okay, so Brian's mentioning RMDs, and that's been kind of this year is a very transitional year for RMDs. Earlier, Brian mentioned the Secure Act, which was passed in December, took effect January 1st, and that actually changed the beginning date for required distributions from 70 and a half, the year in which you turned 70 and a half, to the year you turned 72. So there were folks that this year would have been their first year to take an RMD, and it got pushed back. Now, if you were already taking an RMD, then the CARES Act came into play at the end of March, which said you don't have to take an RMD at all this year, no matter who you are or how old you are. And so there have been two changes this year to the required minimum distribution rules, and the waiver this year does also apply to beneficiary accounts. Now, I'm not going to get into a bunch of details about that, but there are a lot of different kinds of RMDs, and they've all been waived for this year, for 2020. So that's the kind of thing we'd like to talk with you about and make sure you're doing the right thing.
What's amazing is the Secure Act, CARES Act, and other future acts that are coming from Congress. It almost feels like the Adventure series. So what have I been doing during the coronavirus quarantine is watching the Adventure series and trying to learn what my son is talking about for the last decade so I can speak his language. So that's been what I've been trying to do and learn. What's neat about understanding these acts and understanding what's going on is this. Financial planning can really sound difficult. I mean hard. The more they throw these rules at you, you're going to have a coach. That coach better know the rules of the game. So at Acres Financial Group, to help you win in retirement, we want you to understand what the rules of the game are and then how we're applying it. And then suddenly what you realize is, hey, I'm going to have Acres Financial apply the rules of the game for me so that I don't have to be that expert. It's nice to hear what's going on, but the common thing that you got to get to that answer. And the common thing with our clients is they know where to go when they need an answer for those questions. They go to Acres Financial. You can begin that process by going to acresfinancial.com. On our website, there's to the middle, there's a thing called documents. Under there is two things. One says identifying your financial fingerprint. The other one says discovering your financial fingerprint. So Jeff, when you're trying to talk with someone about identifying or discovering your financial fingerprint, what kind of process do you go through with someone like that?
So I want to find out what do they have. So that's assets, that's debts, 401ks, savings accounts, all that kind of thing. one of the key things I want to find out is, do you have money in the bank? Brian talked earlier about having an emergency fund. Well, do you have one? And if you do, how much is it? Is it enough? And if you don't, then help you understand what the reason for having that is. Then we want to take a look at your debts. How much money are you spending on interest and things that you bought years ago but you're still paying for? And we want to eliminate those debts as best we can. One of the things in the CARES Act is if you were unemployed, then you're getting an extra $600 a month from the federal government. You might actually be earning more now, not working, than you did per week. And so you might be earning more now than when you were working. And so use that extra money to pay off some debt and eliminate a problem, something that can cause a serious problem for you as you try to head into retirement. Then we want to look at, just is the family protected and things like that. And when I talk about protection, that's where we get into insurance, different kinds of insurance. And we also want to take a look at estate planning and stuff like that. But we just try to go down the list of all the things that we think are important, that we know are important. And those are going to be things like your emergency fund, what debts you have, do you have a mortgage, and are you saving for retirement? And what kind of money do you have saved up in those accounts?
So this segment, we're talking about the CARES Act. If you'd like more information on the CARES Act, we have this new way of contacting us when it comes to getting information about the CARES Act or what we're talking about on the radio that day. So right now, you can text WINRETIRE, one word, WINRETIRE. You text that to 22828 to receive our CARES Act summary. It also signs you up for a weekly email that we send out, and then you can contact us for further advice and further information about Acres Financial. But if you text WINRETIRE to 22828, what you'll get is our CARES Act summary. So that's something you can do. Hopefully you're out there being safe while you're driving. Some of you might be the first time driving in a long time, but we want you to understand that Acres Financial will be there for you. Now, if you'd like to just give our company a call, you can call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WINRETIRE. Sorry. When you call, you can leave us a voice message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule an appointment with one of our team of advisors. This appointment is over the phone, over the virtual Zoom or WebEx or GoToMeeting, whatever is the comfort level when it comes to working with our clients. We've found that the virtual video meetings have been an excellent way to get to know people all around. So we recommend that you call us. Now you can give us a call at 833-946-7384. That's 833-946-7384. Or you can go to acresfinancial.com for more information. Can you remember your retirement savings? Do you know if it's going to be mostly tax-free? We'll explain after this.
You are unique. Just as no two fingerprints are alike, each individual's financial situation is uniquely their own. That's why the Acres Financial Group's team of advisors begins each relationship with a proven process that identifies your financial fingerprint. We'll guide you through a series of steps designed to provide a complete and accurate snapshot of where you are right now. Everything we learn about your financial fingerprint will become part of a detailed financial plan created especially for you. We'll never give you a cookie-cutter proposal or suggest a one-size-fits-all portfolio. The financial plan takes you from where you are now to where you need to be. Begin by discovering your financial fingerprint right now by going to getmyfinancialfingerprint.com. That's getmyfinancialfingerprint.com.
Member FINRA SIPC.
Imagine you're retired. You wake up in the morning and you don't even know what day it is. Every day seems like a Saturday. You can sleep in, cook a nice full breakfast without thinking about morning traffic or work deadlines. The Saturday calmness you used to crave is now your everyday feeling. You're not worried about your retirement income or how your investments are doing. Your biggest decision that day is where you're going to drink that first cup of coffee. Is that the kind of retirement you want? If it is, then sit down and talk with the team at Acres Financial Group. They want to help you get there. They've been helping families in Maryland plan for retirement for over 30 years. Call to schedule your complimentary meeting at 833-WIN-RETIRE. The number again is 833-WIN-RETIRE. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384. Member FINRA SIPC.
Long before 18-year-old Brooks Robinson was signed to play third base, and years before Natty Boh began brewing at the corner of Conkling and O'Donnell Streets, Baltimore families relied on the Evans family and the Evans Funeral Chapel and cremation services to help them during some of their most important family moments. Hi, I'm Charlie Evans, and for 4 generations, my family and I have been there for families, providing care and compassion in their time of need. Evans Funeral Chapel and Cremation Services provides the best facility, staff, and personalized service for your family. We have 3 convenient locations to serve the community: Parkville, Forest Hill, and Hereford. For more information, visit us online at evansfuneralchapel.com or call 410-665-9444. Evans Funeral Chapel and Cremation Services, serving Baltimore families since 1865. I invite your confidence.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Brian Akers of Akers Financial Group is a registered representative offering securities through Kalos Capital Incorporated and investment advisory services through Kalos Management Incorporated. Akers Financial Group is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Kalos Capital or Kalos Management and does not provide tax and legal services. Advice given on winning in retirement is general in nature, and one should seek further advice from their financial advisor, broker, attorney, or tax accountant before investing. Be sure to read each prospectus carefully to understand all the risks associated with each investment. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today is Jeff Akers. We're certified financial planner practitioners, but we also both graduated college from Virginia Tech back in the day. We'll say back in the day. I know mine was late 80s. Jeff was early 90s, right?
I was 1991. That is correct. That was a long time ago.
What's your one thing you remember about being in college?
Oh, my goodness. Well, Virginia Tech was a wonderful campus, but I remember one April in particular. There was I think it was a Tuesday, and it was sunny, and people are laying out and sunbathing and everything. And a week later, it was a Tuesday, and it was snowing. That sticks in my mind. The weather changed really fast.
Yeah, well, my thought right now is the fact that college graduation was this time. It's like today, my daughter graduated college 2 years ago on this day. I actually started my full-time financial planning job on May 22nd of 89. So I went from part-time intern to full-time on May 22nd. So that's coming up. That'll be, oh my, the math, 31 years since that day. The day before I started that full-time job, my now wife and I went to New York for the day, to the stock exchange, and got to see a bunch of things up there, then came back all in one day. It was pretty neat experience. But that memory came on this week for me when it comes to, you think about college years, think about what happened. You think about what your hopes and dreams were then, and you think about, well, what does retirement going to look like? Sitting 30 years, that hope and dream of retirement is now becoming something that needs to be a reality. It's something where I got to make sure everything's in place for my own personal retirement, but I also feel that way about each and every one of my clients. When it comes to winning in retirement, you have to say, where am I now? And what we do with that is we like to do a unique financial fingerprint for each and every one of our clients to know where they are now. Because each one of us is unique, have different situations. We got to design plans that'll make this happen. One of the pieces of that is making things tax-free in that future retirement. We believe the future will mean higher taxes. How can we have tax-free income in that future? So, Jeff, the question is, can your retirement be mostly tax-free?
There are ways to make your retirement mostly tax-free, and it has to do with something called the Roth IRA. And if you've listened to us, you've heard us talk a lot about it. And right now is actually an opportunity to get money into a Roth IRA. And one way to get money in there is through a Roth conversion. So if you have a traditional IRA, that means that you got a tax deduction when you put money into it. You're going to pay tax on that money when you take it out. Well, there's a way to pay some tax now on it convert it to a Roth IRA, and then you don't pay tax on it again. You hold it for at least 5 years, you wait until you're retired, and then you can use it in retirement, and it's tax-free. Brian mentioned taxes are likely to go up. We just had the CARES Act that cost $2 trillion. Now they're talking about the HEROES Act, and they say that'll cost $3 trillion. That's a lot of money that we don't have as a country, and so they're going to have to raise it somehow. So putting money into a Roth IRA is a good way to defend yourself against higher taxes in the future.
Real simply, a Roth IRA was designed in 1998 as a way of putting after-tax dollars into an account. There's a limit on contribution of $7,000 if you're over 50, of $6,000 if you're under 50. You're allowed to contribute to it based on earned income, or you're allowed to convert into it. The amazing thing on the conversion is that there is no income limit. Early on, there's an income limit for conversions, and that was taken away. Thus, that means if you make $1.2 million a year, you can convert your IRA to a Roth. That conversion makes taxation occur at that moment that you move the money from IRA to Roth. What I mean by at that moment is in that quarter that you convert, you need to pay your tax estimates. If you're a resident of Maryland, that means you got to pay federal and Maryland estimate based on the amount you're going to Roth convert. Now, if we do a tax calculation and we're trying to do a little bit, like some clients, we're instead of taking an RMD, we're converting what would have been the RMD amount, and maybe your taxes can absorb the taxation on that. If not, we'd send money in as a quarterly payment for federal and state tax estimates.
And we do want to pay attention to the tax bracket that you're in, because we don't want this conversion to force you into a higher bracket. But right now, tax rates are at a historic low, and so we expect those to be higher down the road. So this time has given us a good opportunity to convert while some of our assets are down. They've gone down in value. Brian said that you pay the tax when you do the conversion on the amount that converts. So if you had a stock that was worth $10 and now it's worth $7, well, you can convert it and you're paying tax on the $7. When the market recovers, the country recovers, that $7 stock now becomes $10 again. It just went back to where it was, but that $3 of gain is totally tax-free to the future. And you got to pay tax on it while tax rates were lower. The current tax law is set to expire in 2026, and so the 12% bracket becomes 15%. So not only can you save yourself by converting a lesser amount, you're paying tax at a lower bracket as well right now. So this is really a great time to consider Roth conversions. One thing that we have to be aware of is that tax is due that quarter that you pay it, and you have to be able to pay it from money outside of the IRA in order for it to make sense to do.
Now, the mentality over the years has been this: don't pay taxes on money you're not using. And that used to be a speech. A lot of CPAs and accountants will give you that. Don't pay tax on money you're not using. Throw it to your future. When you retire, you'll be at a cheaper rate. We are not agreeing with that answer anymore. Our answer is this: the opportunity that you need to apply right now is the following. Pay tax now and never again. So pay tax now and never again. What are the ways to do it? One of the ways is Roth IRA, Roth contribution, Roth conversion. A second way to do that is through the proper use of life insurance. The proper use of life insurance is if you can build cash value over time in life insurance policies, that also can be a tax-free income for you down the road. The policy has to work, it has to be well designed, and you need 15 to 20 years to truly make that be a great option in a plan. So these are some things you need to think about as we're talking about your finances when it comes to how can you make your retirement mostly tax-free. The next topic we're going to talk about, Jeff, is just some other things going on. I know people have been receiving stimulus checks, but not everyone, right, Jeff?
That's true. I've talked to several people this week that said, I never got my stimulus check. I don't know what's going on. Why didn't I get it? And we go to the IRS website. There is a way to check on this. And when you go to irs.gov, there's a box on there that says Get My Payment. And you click on that box, Get My Payment, and it'll ask you some questions, and it'll tell you, are you eligible for the stimulus check, yes or no? And it will tell you why you haven't gotten it yet. And what's happened most of the time that for the folks I've seen is they owed taxes the last couple of years, so they weren't getting a refund direct deposited to their bank. Now, even if they gave their bank information so that the IRS could take the money out to pay their taxes, the IRS doesn't keep that on file for whatever reason, and so they weren't able to get a direct deposit of this stimulus check. So there's a way you can go through the system. You can put in the information, your bank account information, so that they can then give you that direct deposit. So I've gotten that question quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. We heard conflicting things over time that, we'll find you using one system or another system. And I've come across a lot of folks that none of those systems have worked. So we've gone to the irs.gov website in order to do that. Once you get that stimulus check, that stimulus money is something that you can use then to pay taxes on a Roth conversion or contribute to a Roth IRA if you're eligible to.
All right, so real simply, if you have not received your stimulus check and you're under the income limits of $75,000 per person or $150,000 per couple, or all the way to $100,000 per person, $200,000 is when it fades out. Then there's a way to look it up. And Jeff was saying irs.gov, which stands for Gov. You go there, and on the irs.gov, there is a spot you can click. What is it called again, Jeff?
It says Get My Payment. It's very direct.
Yes, well, Get My Payment. Basically, Jeff's saying that if you owed on your taxes, you might not have gotten your stimulus check because of that, and you need to go on there, Get My Payment, line up the bank account information for you, and then that will help you get the stimulus faster. Sounds like good information, Jeff.
Yes, and one other quick thing, if you filed jointly, make sure you use the Social Security number of the person who was on the top line of your tax return. I was talking to one wife that said she logged in and it said she wasn't eligible, and we had to use her husband's Social Security number, and then she saw that she would get it.
All right, so we're a local company. We're independent. We don't really report to any big company. We report to you, our clients. We have offices in Farstill and Lutherville, Maryland. You obviously won't be coming into our office right now, but hopefully you will be in the near future. This is all about your retirement, not about us, but winning in retirement is all about you, and that's what we do at Acres Financial Group. To schedule a free talk, a free time to get together over the phone or video call, you can give us a call at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, leave a message. Susan will call you back on Monday, schedule an appointment with one of our team of advisors. You call 833-946-7384 or go to acresfinancial.com. Hey, do you celebrate the 4th of July or Independence Day? At Acres Financial Group, we celebrate independence. What does financial independence mean when it comes to your retirement? Yes, you can get there. We'll explain after this. Acres Financial Group was founded on the principles of integrity, trust, and service. We believe each and every client is unique and deserves advice and implementations that apply directly towards their personal financial fingerprint. This financial fingerprint tells us the objective risk tolerance and purpose of the investment and insurance tools that we use to assist our clients in reaching their goals. By discovering the purpose of each financial decision, we can help you accomplish your goals. Intelligent financial design starts with a detailed balance sheet and cash flow to know where to start. This leads to a financial decision that will allow you to reach your goals with your risk tolerance in mind. Our relationships begin with an initial consultation and grows with each meeting. We would be thrilled to work with you and begin your planning process. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384. Or visit our website at acresfinancial.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
Are there times in some games you wish you could just turn on the TV at the 2-minute warning? Because that's the most important part of the game, right? As a fan, these are the most exciting moments. Your team could take home the victory or crumble under pressure. But when it comes to your retirement, don't wait until the last 2 minutes. So much can happen in the final working years before retirement. Whether you're in your 50s or 60s, near or already in retirement, there's still time to put a plan in place. Don't wait until right before you retire to begin planning for your future. Can you win the retirement game like that? Come in and talk with the team at Acres Financial Group. They've been helping families in Maryland plan for retirement for over 30 years. Call to schedule your complimentary meeting at 833-WIN-RETIRE. The number again is 833-WIN-RETIRE. Start planning for your retirement now. Call 833-946-74. Member FINRA SIPC.
Acres Financial Group was founded on the principles of integrity, trust, and service. We believe each and every client is unique and deserves advice and implementations that apply directly towards their personal financial fingerprint. This financial fingerprint tells us the objective risk tolerance and purpose of the investment and insurance tools that we use to assist our clients in reaching their goals. By discovering the purpose of each financial decision, we can help you accomplish your goals. Intelligent financial design starts with a detailed balance sheet and cash flow to know where to start. This leads to a financial decision that will allow you to reach your goals with your risk tolerance in mind. Our relationships begin with an initial consultation and grows with each meeting. We would be thrilled to work with you and begin your planning process. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384. Or visit our website at acresfinancial.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
You're listening to a pre-recorded show. Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. Call 833-WIN-RETIRE now to schedule a visit with Brian and his team and begin winning in retirement. Once again, here's Brian Akers.
Welcome back to Winning in Retirement. I'm Brian Akers. Here with me today. Easy for me to say, right, Jeff? It's Jeff Akers.
That's right.
We are experienced, but not at speaking, but in financial planning. Today we've been talking about opportunities that you need to apply right now, which actually applies to you winning in your retirement. If you haven't been listening since 11 a.m., you should visit our website at acresfinancial.com. On our radio tab, you can hear our previous shows on that tab. The current show will be there later next week for you to listen and to hear it again, so you can say, wow, that Jeff is so funny. What do you think, Jeff?
Well, I was going to say looks aren't everything, but since this is radio, they can't see me anyway.
Face for radio is a great compliment. All right, so this is our topic for here in the fourth quarter. The question was, do you celebrate the 4th of July or Independence Day? At Acres Financial Group, we celebrate independence. What does financial independence mean when it comes to your retirement? We believe that you can get there. What do you think, Jeff, about independence?
So when it comes to financial independence, it's that feeling of I've got my ducks in a row. Things are lined up. Now, I might still have a job. I might still go to work. But it's not that I have to go to work in order to pay the bills. I'm going to work because I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the opportunities that work gives me. But it's not because you're forced to do anything.
Very true. So financial independence is where you have a financial planner. You've been calculating what you can do to retire. Everything's in alignment, and then you can work because you like it. Financial independence is where you're not retired yet, but you could be because you know you're financially independent from the current job. Is that a fair summary, Jeff?
I think so. I think that sums it up really well.
How does someone get to that point?
So I think one of the first things to do is to get debt-free. And so that's something to be working on right now. When we say debt-free, we mean everything. So ideally, you don't have a mortgage because that fixed payment is something that as long as you want to live there and you have a mortgage, you've got to make that payment if you want to stay there. So getting rid of all of your debts, I think, is a great place to start. Another thing to do once you've gotten rid of those debts is make sure you've got money saved for retirement. So that's something hopefully you've been doing over the years. When you're young, the more money you put in, the better off you're going to be when you get to retirement age or that age where you want to be financially independent.
We found that this is actually harder when your income goal gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And the reason is, let's use an example. I had a client usually made $800 to $1 million a year, and then she was getting ready to retire. as she was looking at retirement and options, and we came to a point where she thought she would need $100,000 a year to live off of. And then from the very beginning, I'm like, there's no way. That number does not fit everything you described in your life. What I wanted her to do was to do a full budget, to know where money's going. And what we found was between car payments and school payments and mortgages and other things, there was about $100,000 a year going out the door just for fixed debt expense, where we needed to clean that up as part of the planning, so that then she could retire at a $160,000 to $200,000 level. So that was just one quick example of someone very successful, very good saver, but they thought, well, if they only had $100,000. Because what happens is, when we think about retirement, we think, oh man, if I got $5,000-6,000 a month, I'm going to be perfectly fine. But then when you bring home $5,000-6,000 a month, you look at your bills, you got $800 for health care, $1,000, $2,000 for mortgage, you add a car payment or two, and before you know it, there's no discretionary income left. It sort of goes quickly. How do you feel about that, Jeffrey?
Well, you got all these fixed expenses, like you mentioned, the debts and the health insurance and all that kind of thing, and you still haven't gone to the grocery store to get something to eat. And so, we need to eat as well. So it's a good idea while you're working and preparing for retirement to be thinking about, how do I want to live in retirement? And start living at that level now. If you say that when I retire, I'm only going to use this much money, okay, give it a try. And whatever's left after that, save it. Save all the extra and see how it goes. It can help you in a couple of ways. One, it might help you clean things up like Brian was talking about with debts and things. The second thing is, it can help you to see what might be not as important, not a priority to you, that you do want to eliminate. And it can help you be more realistic when it comes to what that number is going to be that you need income-wise to live on in retirement.
Jeff, I want you to explain to me, what is a midlife crisis car?
Well, I don't have a midlife crisis car. That was never my thing. But it's usually a red sports car, goes really fast, probably a convertible, although your midlife crisis car was not a convertible.
No.
It had a top on it.
I don't feel like I bought one yet, but my kids are graduating college, and so part of the financial plan is to have a midlife crisis soon and to think about building a car into that plan. The problem is that once you get to that freedom of college being done, you look at your wife and you say, well, we got so many years left to get to retire. I want to be financially independent. But then there's this opposite thing that happens in our mind. It's like, hey, this money can be about me now. I can use this money for things I've always wanted. And before I know it, I could go spend what I should have been saving. So there's some major decisions that happen throughout our life. We sort of get to certain markers in our life and we say, wow, there's some freedom on our cash flow. We're recommending that you take that financial freedom, you take this opportunity and apply it right now to your budget. Can you get out of debt now? Concentrate on that. If you knock out those credit card debts, get rid of them. Well, I pay 12, 16, 18%. That is a great investment to pay that off. The next thing is clean your cash flow so that there is a bunch of money left over. You'll start seeing your savings grow, and then you can pay cash for these midlife crisis ideas or things that need to happen or trips you want to take when we're allowed to do that again. So when it comes to it, financial independence is there, but you need to do the work to get there. Part of that work is talking to a financial advisor. How would you begin doing something like that, Jeff?
So the first thing I'd do is give us a call, and then we can help you walk through this process, because Brian's mentioned the financial fingerprint. We take a look at where you are right now, and we look at what your goals are, where you want to go, and then we help you match those two up. Say, here's the road from where you are to where you want to be, and here's the things that you're going to need to do along the way. And some of that may include, let's cut out some certain expenses. We've had folks where they gave a lot of money to their adult children, And so we've worked with those adult children to not be so dependent on mom and dad anymore, to free up some cash flow for mom and dad to plan for their financial independence instead of continuing to take care of the kids. That's one that's fairly common, but we want you to know where you are, see how to get to where you're going, and then start taking those steps, eliminating debt, saving, having an emergency fund, saving for retirement, and getting things in tax-advantaged ways to take care of retirement.
And that's just the beginning of what financial planning does. It takes you from the plan to when you implement. Implementing the plan is investing that money into a portfolio design that'll meet your goals as you begin retirement and all the way through. Conservative approach to investments is what we do at Acres Financial Group. We sit down with our clients and go over things that are actually going to be there and do well when things are horrible. We should never risk all of our money. We need to diversify where we have some protected money. We need to have some money at risk that's very diversified to face the markets like we're facing right now. By lowering the amount of loss on your investment, you actually can make money faster when things recover by keeping what you have. Acres Financial spends time designing a plan and then leading and holding people to a financial plan through implementation all the way through managing the money and walking them into retirement. So financial independence, Jeff, what's a quick summary for you when you're talking to someone about financial independence?
Financial independence is when you get up in the morning, and if you want to go to work, you can go to work. If you don't want to go to work, you don't have to. You're independent of that job, that income source, because you have other sources available to you.
All right, so I think you've done a good job today on the show. I really appreciate it, what you've done for us today, Jeff.
Told you how to replace a shower head?
Yeah, that was what you learned in the first part of the show, is that Jeff learned how to fix a shower head. But we want you to learn how to do the following. That is how to text us. You can text WIN RETIRE to 22828 to receive our summary on the CARES Act. It's a little information put together. We'll send it right to you. It helps sign you up for a weekly email that we send out on Wednesdays that summarizes the market and a few other topics that we write each and every week. So get involved with Acres Financial Group by texting WIN RETIRE to 22828. All right, Jeff, thank you very much for a good show today. Now, you're out there listening to our show, and if you want to begin winning in retirement, you go ahead and call our office at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-WIN-RETIRE. When you call, you can leave us a voicemail message, and Susan will call you back on Monday to schedule an appointment with one of our team of advisors. Start planning your retirement now. Call 833-946-7384 or go to acresfinancial.com. Now, Acres Financial is here for you, and we're ready to take that call. Thank you for listening. I'm Brian Akers from Akers Financial Group, and we want you to be winning in retirement.
The preceding was a paid program, and the views expressed on this show do not represent the views of WJZ-FM, Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Knowledge is power. How much better would life be if you had the power to provide a financial umbrella for your family, protect your estate, retire without any lifestyle compromise? Obtaining this kind of knowledge is as easy as making a call to Acres Financial Group. Acres Financial provides comprehensive, innovative, and personalized wealth management services. Call us at 833-WIN-RETIRE. That's 833-946-7384. Or visit our website at acresfinancial.com. Member FINRA SIPC.
The choice of your child's school is vitally important. Wouldn't you go a few more miles for something really special? I'm Brian Wilson, principal of Harford Christian School. Harford Christian is an independent school in northern Harford County, serving students in preschool through 12th grade. Our Uncommon Core makes all the difference. For nearly 50 years, we've partnered with parents in the important responsibility of training children in God's truth. Our biblical worldview stands in stark contrast against today's culture. At HCS, political correctness is never prioritized above God's unchanging truth. We hold the bar high as we prepare students to serve God's kingdom, not just the workplace of man. Affordable tuition and transportation options put the choice of Christian education within your reach.
Come visit the longest established Christian school in Harford County. You can become acquainted with us through a private tour or on the web at harfordchristian.org.
You are unique. Just as no two fingerprints are alike, each individual's financial situation is uniquely their own. That's why the Acres Financial Group's team of advisors begins each relationship with a proven process that identifies your financial fingerprint. We'll guide you through a series of steps designed to provide a complete and accurate snapshot of where you are right now. Everything we learn about your financial fingerprint will become part of a detailed financial plan created especially for you. We'll never give you a cookie-cutter proposal or suggest a one-size-fits-all portfolio. The financial plan takes you from where you are now to where you need to be. Begin by discovering your financial fingerprint right now by going to getmyfinancialfingerprint.com. That's getmyfinancialfingerprint.com.
Member FINRA SIPC.
Broadcasting from the Thompson Creek Window Company studios, the one window replacement company that does it all. This is WJZ-FM, HD1 Catonsville, Baltimore. 105.7, The Fan, a radio.com sports station.